That defense set tonight and hang in this ball game. If so, they cannot have live ball turnovers and let the LSU run game dominate the next 40 minutes.
What an environment, what an atmosphere. The opening tip controlled by LSU and off the fingertips of Samaya Smith and out of bounds. And for the Aztecs, led by Ronnie Sheppy, leading scorer, poured in 24 in that triple overtime victory over Wyoming in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. Quezada gets an early touch and short with the mid-range.
Not a lot of offense from San Diego State. They only average 69 points a game. They've got to choke this game down and make it a half-court game as much as possible.
First time LSU's gone with that starting five since December 8th against Grambling. In and out and back in, and a kiss. Flau'Jae Johnson. Tigers strike first, and the spin. Villalobos outside. Ponganiban, no. And Smith clears for the Tigers.
They don't shoot it great. Only 5 made threes per game from San Diego State. You got to make the open ones.
Michaela Williams, a Texas transfer. Back-to-back threes.
17 points per game herself. 6-0 Tigers.
First meeting between these two teams since the 2012 NCAA Tournament. And Villalobos
get into this game quickly.
Jimmy, it felt like that was a factor in our first game today with George Mason. Florida State got off to a great start, and Patriots did recover. It was a 10-point game in the fourth, but that was an issue. Morrow gets it back. And free throws coming. What a start for LSU. National champions 2 years ago. They'd love to get down to Tampa. Here in Baton Rouge, we welcome you. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center, and a fast start and a free throw from Aneesah Morrow. The big three on display early. And the Aztecs, Sheppy picks up the blocking foul on Poe.
Yeah, a hot start for LSU, a team that comes in, Roy, only making 5 three-point shots per game. They've already knocked down a couple of them. It's an LSU team that's averaging 84 points a game. And Flau'Jae Johnson, Aneesah Morrow, Michaela Williams, all of them 17, 18 points a night. A lot of firepower for this LSU team on their home floor.
And it's important to note, Flau'Jae Johnson, shin swelling, missed the last 3 games of the regular season, the SEC tournament. And then Aneesah Morrow missed the second half of that semifinal loss to Texas in Greenville. Now healthy, and you can see what a difference a healthy Morrow and a healthy Johnson. Aztecs in search of their first points. Ponganiban, no. Williams hauls in the rebound. Michaela Williams shows the handles, waiting the screen. Physical start for LSU. Flau'Jae. A good box out from Sheppy. A steal. Flau'Jae Johnson lays it in.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a timeout quick right now if you're Stacey Terry Hudson. The PMAC is almost full, and it is alive defensively. They're healthy right now. LSU comes in averaging 84 points a game. The problem for San Diego State, they only average 69 on the year. Where's their offense going to come from? Their leading scorer only averages about 11, and that's a real concern for the Aztecs in this game.
Outside to Sheppy, 7 on the shot clock. They'll whip it around the horn. And a skip pass to Martinez.
There we go.
Corner 3. We do expect to see some zone tonight for the Aztecs, even though that's not really their calling card. Trying to mix up looks. Michaela Williams, no problem. Her second 3.
Roy, you're just playing the percentages if you're San Diego State. LSU only makes 5 threes per game.
Ponganiban, 5 on the timer, and there goes Martinez baseline. A Euro pass. Ponganiban for 3. And Morrow does what Aneesah Morrow does, and that's collect boards. We had a fun conversation with her yesterday, the former volleyball player. And the art of the rebound is something you were very interested in speaking with her about. Winner of this game gets Florida State on Monday. The Seminoles took care of business against 11 seed George Mason. Her numbers, her production going back to her time at DePaul before she transferred here.
Dominant at the painted area of the floor.
Kaylin Hamilton checks in for the first time. Here's Clark. 3 on the shot clock, and the skip pass to Green.
Yep. That's what you have to do.
Jimmy, they don't make a ton of threes to your point, but they do have 5 shooters and average over 35% from distance. Flau'Jae feeling it.
And she is back.
They send it down low to Clark. The pump fake and too strong. Well, that's what LSU's bigs can do. They're going to bother shots even if technically they don't. It's the fear and the anticipation. Miracle Shepherd on the floor. Day Wilson a three.
And LSU is dialing up from distance already. 5 out of 6 from that three-point line.
Here's Sheffy, the mid-range, with a bounce. Badly needed bucket for SDSU.
Yeah, was a Mountain West Tournament MVP, but again, she's the leading scorer at 11 points a game. That's a problem. How aggressive are they? San Diego State makes a basket, and LSU, within 5 seconds, has the ball at the rim.
Stolen away by Morrow. It goes back to Green inside to Clark.
Boy, really good hustle, though, by Green, right, to get on the floor.
Florida State awaits the winner, and Aneesah Morrow fouled on the floor.
4, 12, and 16. I'm talking about the numbers of Johnson, Morrow, and Williams are the primary bucket getters, but a lot of depth offensively for Kim Mulkey this year.
And Aneesah Morrow, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 dimes already.
High-level basketball with an elite skill.
Sheffy, another mid-range jumper in and out. And Morrow, another rebound. Yeah, how much of that do you think is just purely instinctual versus this is a learned skill where you can go out and do what she does?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, but the question about her for rebounding, we asked her, the first thing she went to was, I have a will that's stronger than anybody else I play against.
Off the carom. Here's Gilbert. Timer down to 3. Inside to Morrow. Wow.
What are you going to do, right, if you're Clark? When you made Morrow hit one at the buzzer, did not feel the pressure at all of that clock winding down. A very mature confidence that LSU has shot that ball with in the first quarter. About as good as you can hope for.
A healthy Flau'Jae, a healthy Aneesah Morrow. And the Tigers are off and running. Miracle Shepherd with a steal.
You've got to at least draw iron, right?
Day Wilson dumps it down. Wolfenbarger is fouled.
And has continued to develop under Kim Mulkey. Has their eyes set on a Final Four run.
Off the bounce, Villalobos. Against Del Rosario. And off the mark. Williams. And Del Rosario.
I'm very impressed with LSU's team speed. I had them earlier this year at Florida. I remember that about then, just how fast all 5 of their athletes get up and down the floor on a nice, simple baseline out-of-bounds under. Well, you like out-of-bounds plays that give your kids the luxury to break it off and just make a read, and that's what Smith did.
Miracle Shepherd. Del Rosario stripped on the way up. Lost the handle, and here comes San Diego State. Barnhart checks in for the first time for the Aztecs. Miracle Shepherd is trying to go coast to coast, and does.
You know, what a big-time athlete Miracle Shepherd putting on you.
Tough matchup and a tough team. Barnhart traveled. And so far, for the most part, in this tournament. But the teams at the top, and Jimmy, you and I both think maybe 7, 8, 9 teams all have a shot. Cut down the nets in Tampa. Day Wilson, her second triple, and that's huge.
Finding her stroke at the right time. I'm with you. 9 or 10 teams. That's a good empty side corner ball screen.
The calendar turned to 2025. She indicated it was a relief based off the stress and the pressure recently that Dawn Staley's team has had to deal with. They've gotten off to such fast start.
Now, an interesting South Carolina, they don't really have that one player you say, that's a 25-point kid. I think they're averaging about 31 points and 17 or 18 rebounds combined. Is still a real strength for Dawn Staley. Roy, 10 turnovers for San Diego State already in this game. They can't get anything working on the offensive end.
Quezada does on that possession.
One of the few times they have been able to blow by their individual defender and make a play and finish at the rim.
Brianna Quezada, bucket, a rim run. With Miracle Shepherd. Well, she wasn't even looking at the rim when she began that shot. And she connected regardless. 39-14. Shepherd's got 7 off the bench. And a steal from Flau'Jae. Corrals the dribble and the reverse.
What an athlete, man. She made a difficult play look easy. To rip that ball and run and finish on the right side and get to the left paw on the left side of the rim.
Quezada, long 2. (41-16), under 4 to play in the half. Flau'Jae off with a 3. And Nat Martinez picks up the rebound. Megan Vizo on the floor, 13 for the Aztecs. Winner of this one gets Florida State on Monday. A chance to go to the Sweet 16. FSU impressive in a fourth quarter against George Mason earlier tonight. Well, the defense has been suffocating. It's Shepherd again. High dribble.
Wow.
And a chance for 3.
How good has she been off the bench? Talking about Miracle Shepherd. Takes the hit right there and gets off balance, but keeps her eyes locked in on that top right corner of the square. Man, what an opening half for LSU in this tournament.
Shepherd, the transfer from Mississippi State. Baton Rouge has come to life. It was a spring afternoon here in the capital.
You know, Kim Mulkey bought about 1,900 student tickets out of her own pocket. See to our right. She gets it, does she not? Kim Mulkey, she is great. Not good. She is great.
Well, she was
for
in a
women's
great
basketball
mood when we talked to her yesterday and calling games over the years. But I think that there was a quiet confidence knowing her team is now healthy.
Yeah.
Got some much-needed time off after the SEC tournament in Greenville. And you see the results so far in this year's dance.
Boy, my first year, there's that rebounding tenacity that LSU brings. In my first year at Arkansas, we won our opening round game in the NCAA tournament. Our second game was against Baylor with Kim Mulkey, and the handshake before the game, she looked at me and she said, "Jimmy Dykes, why in the world did you leave TV to come do this? I'm getting ready to beat you by 30. And she did.
And she did. Morrow gets it back. Morrow puts it in. 12 points, 7 rebounds for Aneesah Morrow already.
Company so much size around the rim, and Vic Schaefer knows the formula to win a national championship.
Indeed he does. Mid-range is there, this time for Jaslyn Green. Here's Gilbert. And a foul, the forearm. Del Rosario at the stripe, 50% this season. You're home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Well, Del Rosario is I think, a key piece for LSU if they're going to make a deep run. You're going to have that type of size at some point in this tournament. And she continues to play her way into better shape, but she's all of 6'6", and a lot of power.
Hamilton inside, spins it home.
Kim Mulkey up 29 and not happy with the call, or the lack of a call.
Shot clock is up. One more shot for LSU. Richard off the mark, and the first half comes to a close. It is all Tigers, 49-20. And for San Diego State, you mentioned it early. You posed the question, where will the points come from against this length, this size, and athleticism for the Tigers? We'll send it inside. Michaela Williams operating to Flau'Jae.
LSU doubled up San Diego State on the boards, 22-11.
Villalobos, no. And Samaya Smith, a rebound. Here's Williams, the crossover. Took on 2 defenders and no problem.
Actually was offered a scholarship when she was in the 7th grade for softball. And Kim Mulkey's Michaela Williams.
I told Coach, I was like, that was like a quarterback that would be playing for Brian Kelly's team. She said, no, it's softball. Well, the arm strength was undeniable in Flau'Jae Johnson.
20 games every year. All she did as a player as well, right? over 30 wins all 4 years.
And Naomi averaging nearly 11 points per game. First basket of this NCAA tournament. And Poa was fouled on the release.
Disciplined for 40 minutes.
It's on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com.
Lazarus came back to life, and Coach Cal in Fayetteville, one of those games where you're hugging people you don't even know, when you're watching it in a bar or something.
Here's Smith in traffic, and you mentioned it to me earlier. The win by Arkansas in Rupp Arena and his comeback to Lexington kind of sparked everything that we've seen since.
I did the game because I think he kind of came in, Coach Cal and his guys. Obviously, they were 1-6 at the time. They came in and won that game, and just his confidence went to another level. The kids' belief in him.
Look out, Flau'Jae Johnson.
They get out and sprint ahead of the play as well as anybody in this women's tournament.
The time off after Greenville in the SEC tournament, the semifinal loss to Texas, has served LSU well.
Big-time athletes in an open floor.
Some 13 years ago, she said it was nostalgic coming back into the arena, but she knew the task at hand.
A culture that you have to have these days to not have anyone leave and transfer out on you. 70 wins over the past 3 seasons, has done a really solid job out there in the Mountain West. And win or lose, to me, San Diego State still wins because they get to go home to San Diego. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Win or lose, they're still going to win tonight because they get to go to San Diego, one of the great places in the world to live.
Now, I have been to San Diego, and La Jolla is quite nice. Yeah. This time of year, really any time of year, to be quite honest. A lot of pride in that city with all of its sports teams.
Well, they fight, don't they? They absolutely fight. She is a transition star, and about 38% of her total points on the year come off of transition plays. She competes as well as anyone in this women's tournament. And on a very competitive team, according to Kim Mulkey, she's probably the most competitive, and that's saying a lot.
Nat Martinez, a nifty finish.
High-level game waiting on you Monday night. Worked with Gary Blair at A&M, and now Kim Mulkey. It's an assistant coach. Has been with 4 Hall of Fame coaches. That Kim Mulkey has a tremendous staff here in Baton Rouge, and that Coach Starkey he's seen it all in the women's game.
Yeah, legend himself, Bob Starkey, associate head coach. One more free throw for Gilbert. The Arizona transfer splashes.
These minutes are important to her. Talking about 23 in white.
Nearly a chance for a 4-point play.
New bullet points they got from Kim Mulkey on this trip to Baton Rouge.
She was energized.
2015 in the NCAA tournament when she had me down 25 at half, and I got teed up going to the locker room.
Questionable officiating that went down late.
Don't get me started.
Didn't take much.
Yeah, no, we deserved a 3-point play, and it didn't go our way.
Sometimes it works out that way. Here's Flau'Jae Johnson. Picked up by Hamilton. Wow. Flau'Jae, what a maneuver to get close to the rim for the layup.
The combination of power and strength and the ability to control her body around that rim. We don't talk a lot about Flau'Jae Johnson defensively, but she can absolutely guard 1 through 5.
There were tears in his eyes as they cut down the nets to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. We were told he flew here to Baton Rouge. His wife Sylvia, of course, also has been in attendance for a lot of games, but he has driven all over the western United States over the course of his daughter Kim's career.
Mom-daughter bonds as watching an athlete, there's really nothing like it. It's great to see him.
Well, you know it's an emotional night. It'll be the final game for their daughter Kim. Smythe Smith had to fix her contact lens there, and that was the reason for the brief delay. She appears to have everything situated. 66-34. LSU is led from the jump. Here's Flau'Jae Johnson. And Williams called for the foul, or a 60-year player in some circumstances here in 2025. Boy, emotions run high as that final buzzer sounds, don't they?
Well, I salute San Diego State because all of their seniors are on pace to graduate with their master's degree this spring. So Stacey Terry Hudson's done a really good job in her 12 years of winning games, developing kids, making sure they get their degree.
Smith at the stripe, 66% this season. DeSoto High School from Texarkana, Texas.
A double-double at the time, and there's more of that depth. Another 6'2" long athlete that Kim Mulkey has to put on that floor. There's not a lot of drop-off in that depth for LSU.
There's Sheffy, MVP of the Mountain West Conference Tournament Championship, and off the mark on the step back. And you heard the contact.
We're just glancing around at some of the better individual performances in this tournament today. As another three-point shot for LSU drops. Stars stepping up, carrying their team to the second round.
Stars stepping up here tonight. It's Flau'Jae Johnson and now Aneesah Morrow with her 28th double-double of the season. And Jimmy, think about this, 102 in her career. Left-handed delivery.
I said it earlier, she is a star at consistency, and that is not easy to do.
Should be the final possession of the third. LSU has been dominant tonight, and the Aztecs unable to get off a shot.
Top of the women's game with Murray State and Tennessee, a school record. 269 made threes this year, a single season record. Offensively, they are explosive. Now, that game Monday night between Florida State and LSU has got a chance to be maybe the best second round game in this tournament.
Offensive foul. And you want to talk about points and pace. We're going to have all of the above and then some. Two great athletic teams with experience and players that have something to prove. Led by Tania Latson, the leading scorer in America. Great look inside. Cheyenne Day Wilson on the floor with Flau'Jae and Aneesah Morrow. Sanaya Smith and Michaela Williams. By the way, how many points will it take to win that game to go to the Sweet 16 between LSU and Florida State? Step back is there and a nice jumper from Jaslyn Green.
Man, it feels like one of those games that the first one to 85 wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, both teams are wired to score in the first 10, 12 seconds of the shot clock. Athletes all over the floor. They can turn you over. Both teams, Florida State and LSU, have kids that can just go get their own. And another three for LSU. I'm telling you. Less than 5 threes made per game all year, and this one is LSU. The intentional contact fouls are the unnecessary, hard, and or excessive, which is exactly what that was. Unnecessary, excessive swinging. And I thought for a second they could actually maybe upgrade it to this qualifying foul, a severe to extreme, but I'm good with it either way. Intentional foul.
A couple of free throws by Williams. LSU with 80 points on the board. 8 minutes to go in Baton Rouge.
How talented this LSU team is. Royce, the first time as they dial up another three.
I mean, the big three serve head coach Kim Mulkey and his program very well. What they hope is an extended run to get to Tampa in the Final Four in a national championship. But again, we point to the fact this was not a healthy team at the end of the regular season. In Greenville, the SEC tournament.
Yep.
And now that is in the rearview mirror, this team becomes a much bigger factor than what some people have suggested coming into the dance. Smith inside.
Well, I know that Florida State's watching this game. If they're paying attention at all, they have to understand how fierce the fight is when the ball's on the glass when you're playing against LSU. And I said it in the first half. You get what you demand as a head coach, and Kim Mulkey demands that fight when that ball's being shot. Tania Latson leads the country in scoring, a laser-focused 5'8" junior guard that averages 25.
Wolfenbarger inside. Kim Villalobos just fouled out, so her college career comes to a close. Family in attendance. And a disappointing end, but an incredible run this year. Enoch, her father, Sylvia, mom, made so many trips. Watch their daughter play. Wolfenbarger again. Del Rosario
And 6'6".
Absolutely dominant. We mentioned earlier the John Calipari, Rick Pitino showdown between Arkansas and St. John's. Worth sticking around for. What a day it's been. Women's NCAA Tournament. Stars have shined brightly inside Del Rosario.
She has played some good minutes tonight in this ball game. Moves much better than when I saw her back in January at Florida.
Barnhart with a challenge
against some big-time post players in the women's game this year. And LSU's not the biggest team in their starting five. And that depth of Wolfenbarger and De La Rosa, I think they're going to be important.
Or a hesitation by this LSU team this evening. Del Rosario corrals the lob.
Yep.
Throws it up and down.
How about the reaction from Kim Mulkey? She knows the same thing I talked about. I mean, this is your young lady that's only getting about 9 minutes a game, but that's just a double post action right there on the inside. You just throw it up to the sides in San Diego State. Like, what are we going to do? From Del Rosario. And she averaged, well, it's not 9, 6 minutes a game.
Here's Hamilton. Well, how about the crowd and the support? Jam-packed student section. Kim Mulkey purchased nearly 2,000 tickets for rounds 1 and 2. Day Wilson continues her hot shooting.
I'm talking UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, Southern Cal, Duke, NC State. Just keep on going down the list. And Kim Mulkey knows it. She won a national title 2 years ago in that same spot, being a 3 seed coming in. And they have just had their way.
6 o'clock tip right here on ESPN at 6 Eastern, 5 local. And if you didn't know Flau'Jae Johnson was back, she told you. After the steal and the layup, gave LSU that double-digit advantage. She's going to help you get your credit situated. Time winding down in Baton Rouge, and all eyes will begin to focus on round 2 of the big dance. Underway tomorrow.
All the attention of Florida State Monday night.
Buckle up. You mentioned it may be 85 points needed to win it.
Yeah.
You see Flau'Jae's rewarding performance. 4 of 7 from deep. 2 of the highest scoring teams in America.
Those 2 head coaches, some coaches hope to win and some expect to win, and they both will expect to win that game Monday night.
No question. Jada Richard back on the floor, and that pass deflected out of bounds. LSU on the verge of reaching 100 points. It's Richard off the bounce. Crossover, jump stop. There it is. 100 on the board for LSU with South Carolina, with Texas, and what we've seen tonight, UCLA.
And the growth of the women's game, no Caitlin Clark obviously this year, but the momentum has continued to be there with the star players and the depth of teams that can actually win this devastating loss in their Elite 8 game, and has just fueled the Trojans this year. Kara Lawson's team has been really good at Duke. Just keep going down the line.
Incredible run in the Mountain West tournament. And a triple overtime victory against Wyoming is going to be remembered for SDSU fans forever. And a foul on Del Rosario.
They knocked off the 1 seed UNLV in the semis and the 2 seed Wyoming in triple overtime. And obviously they got knocked around tonight, but just what a great memory for those young ladies that graduating with a master's degree. And
it's pretty nice here today, a spring day. America's finest city there.
You know, it's the 8th largest city in the United States. I didn't
know
that.
that.
1.3 million people. And a great zoo. Like big time zoo. Are you into zoos?
I am.
Oh, well, you need to go to San Diego.
Incredible zoo. I've been there. And now an LSU school record, 103 points in an NCAA tournament game. Previous record was 102 against Iowa. That national title victory just 2 years ago. More history made, and LSU defeats San Diego State 103-48 in Baton Rouge.